Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. In today's video, I want to have a look at ADA. Now, ADA, or Cardano as most of you will know it by, is a pretty high cap crypto. I think it's somewhere around 5th or 4th place, excluding stables. And it's been around since 2018, I'm pretty sure. Let me just check. Yeah, 2018 bull run was when it first hit the space, and it definitely hit the space because it, had a huge sort of, over the space of since November to January, it, did a what percentage move? Let's just check very quickly. If you bought an ICO and sold straight away, you'd be up 1,500%, which is not too shabby. So yeah, ADA's been around since 2018 bull run, and it's managed to stick around ever since, which is not something you can say about most altcoins. Most altcoins, they show up, have a big bull run, and then are forgotten about. But there are a few that have sort of managed to stick around, and ADA is one of these. So it's always worth a look at ADA during these sort of times, because it can be quite telling of what sort of length we should be expecting for the rest of this bear market. So if we go into ADA at the moment, we can see that this cycle, it hasn't been very strong at all. And just recently it had a big leg down of 30% over the space of 2 weeks, which is very rough. It sort of managed to consolidate at these points, and once again we're back to the November-December lows, basically we're FTX crash level right now. And I know a lot of you are thinking that, oh well, it crashed to here last time, I better buy up now while I can, because it'll just do this again. And I would love to say I think you're right, but honestly I don't. I think we've had this leg down, and I think we've got a whole lot more pain to go. We've still got a long time for this bear cycle, especially for altcoins. Bitcoin, we can sort of put a cap on it. We can say 2024 halving, we're going to be rallying a bit before that, in February. So we're due to be, by the time it's April when it's expected, we're going to be in the money. It's going to be going up. But while altcoins do tend to go with Bitcoin, they're also by not as much initially, and are always behind Bitcoin. They don't lead. Bitcoin leads, alts follow. And it's always been the same. It's the same with ETH, it's the same with Cardano, Solana, AVAX, everything. Even though those coins have been strong, Solana and MAG, this sort of bear run, there's still no exemption. Bitcoin leads always in the crypto space. So like we can see, we're back at these November-December lows, and I think we're in more pain, simply because, like I said before, we're still in this bear run. I mean, if you were to look back here, it's still just, in comparison, we just have these huge legs up and then it dies, and we had that here, huge leg up, dies, and now we are in this period where it is from here to here. It's just pain. And now if we take that same graph without moving it and move it over to, say, here or here, you can see that we've still got a long time to go. Now, of course, this isn't like facts, it's not going to be this length, but it does sort of prove a point where, crypto is a cycle. If you're playing the long game, it's quite easy, well, not easy, it's quite probable that you will make money if you're in the long game and you do some sort of research and you time it well. Like, obviously, if you're buying up here, you're going to be waiting a long time for ADA to reach 3 American dollars again. But if you bought, say, here or here, this peak or something like that, you can make a return on that potentially if ADA does perform well again in the next bull run, but you're still going to be waiting a long time. But anyway, basically, really, realistically, if you've bought anywhere in this period, I think you're okay. Even the, around 70 cent, I know you're 50% down, 60, 70% down now, but I think in long run, if you are in it for the long term, set it, forget it, you're going to be alright, really. So, do I think more pain for ADA? Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see us sort of reaching this 15-cent territory, to be honest with you. Like, I can't see it holding this level for another year, and I can't see any good news that would lift it up. Like, I know there's the whole, price drives narrative. Narrative doesn't drive price. But there is no, narrative that could be pinned to ADA doing well. I mean, I know they've got a great development team and they're a solid project. They've stood the test of time that most altcoins haven't. But it's just bad at the moment. And it's going to be like that. They're on the SEC list of unregistered securities. And I can only see more pain for them coming, whether they get sued, whether exchanges get sued. It's just going to crypto macro headwinds that are just going to force this price down. And I really do think we'll hit this sort of 15, 16 cent level. Now, another interesting thing to look at when you're looking at ADA is its BTC pair. Now, I've made a little graph here. I'll explain it properly in a second. But, oh, that's not right. That should be there. Sorry. Now, in these sort of times, during bear markets, a lot of people tend to focus on USD pairs. And while that is definitely useful in some scenarios, I think when you're playing long-term games, it's much more telling to look at your BTC to your altcoin. Because the BTC tells the story of the crypto market, where the dollar tells the story of what pump or, what narrative has driven whatever. It's like, this will keep potentially going up exponentially with each cycle. We'll put in a new high of £5 maybe next, bull run or whatever. But with Bitcoin ADA, it's usually it stays within the same sort of ranges from bull to bear. And it's the same with almost all altcoins, the ones that stay relevant. They, oscillate between these two ups and downs. It's kind of like an RSI, to be honest with you, a very long-term RSI, where, if you draw a line from the caps, I'm sort of excluding that as an outlier because it would just make the graph a lot more annoying. But it was even around here where it averaged for a few days, and it was around here when it averaged for a few days. So I'm just making it easier for us. So it's fluctuating between this 6,500 Satoshis to 500 Satoshis, let's say. And here I've drawn roughly, these lines are also parallel, I'll say, sorry, just so you know. So it follows roughly the same sort of drop down each time. And then where this line hits here, I've put this graph. And this marks where the bull run started for ADA on its BTC pair. So if we bring it over again, you can see that we've still got a long time from this. And it sort of actually kind of lines up with the BTC halving. Now, I think we won't actually be waiting this, until July. Well, we could be, to be honest with you. Because, here we did see a bit of ups and downs, and that's actually kind of that could be expected. We could see this sort of narrative when the halving happens, April time, halving happens, all altcoins go up, great day for crypto, great month for crypto, whatever. And then once the hype is dead, Bitcoin continues to climb, where altcoins just get forgotten about because the hype isn't even involving them, it's involving Bitcoin. So they get forgotten about and money goes into Bitcoin again. So we could actually see something like that happen where Cardano jumps up on the halving news and then sort of floats away again, and then at this point it goes up again. It would be interesting to see that. I hadn't actually thought of that, but yeah, something like that could definitely happen. Thinking about it, probably will. But right now we're at these lower sort of ranges anyway, and it's just good to know where you stand, because like with these sort of wicks up, they always go down and they always hit around this point. Now I know we're sort of only judging off one cycle for Cardano, but it's the best that we have and it's the only that we have, so we've got to get as much value out of it as possible to impact our decisions moving forward when buying this alt. Because like, even if it was, you know, if you're buying here after this whatever move from this peak to this drop, you'd be kicking yourself then, saying, if you bought at this bottom or whatever, and you're saying, I just got a 43% discount. And if it rallied up and you sold up there, that's massive. You made a 50% gain on your money, which is brilliant. And, you know, bear markets are full of these wick ups and wick downs and fake bull runs and fake bear runs, whatever. But ultimately, if you are playing it in the long game, like I am, these are going to be, you know, things that you just read about and don't do anything about. You know, you see your portfolio move up and down, but you don't sell or buy on that news. You just, okay, I've got my however many ADA coins. I'm just going to let them sit there until I see genuine price movement. And we are now at the stages where if you wanted to start DCAing into ADA, you might not be a bad idea, you know. But, you know, if you were DCAing up here, you've lost a lot of money, you know. If you started DCAing at this wick, you know, you're down 62% now, give or take, you're DCAing, so you could be down 30%, you know. Like, it's just, this is why as soon as the bull runs over, you get out of your alts. You sell them and you just forget them. You're better off holding in Bitcoin, because it obviously falls a lot less, or a stable coin, if that's a stable trust, like provider of the stable coin. But yeah, definitely not better off holding an alt. Even the ones that have performed well, like Solana and MAG, have still fallen on their Bitcoin pairs. All of them have. None of them have held their value as well as Bitcoin. So, medium to long term outlook, bullish for ADA. I think we're going to see this sort of test again, you know, up in these ranges in the next bull run for ADA. Do I think that bull run is going to happen soon? No, definitely not. Definitely, 100% not. We're looking at another year, I'd say, to be honest, until we even start getting to this mid-range. Once we, you know, the 3,000 Satoshi mark is going to be a very tough barrier to break, but I think once we do, we're going to be up there. You can see it's often a key support level and resistance. You can see here it wicked above it, didn't break it. You can see here it bounced up from it. And you can see here again another resistance, broke down, broke up, not for long, went straight back down. Even here another barrier around the 3,000. You know, the 3,000 is a key one. And I know right now that's looking a very long way away, and it's definitely a long way away. It's still one that will sort of dictate the movement of ADA. So once we've hit this capitulation, once we have our fake rally with the halving, die back down, and then once we finally get into a bull market, you know, late 2024, and we see ADA do some real price movement, once we break that 3,000 Satoshis, that's when I'd be getting ready to time my sell, personally. Anyway, I'll just about wrap it up for this video, to be honest with you. I think if you like the video, give it a like, you know, give me a subscribe, give me whatever you want, I don't care. Well, I do, I appreciate it very much. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and yeah, see you again soon. Bye. Thanks.